You know, when I'm rubbing my hands together, I got a good video for you guys. What is up, Finn fans? Deeper dive into the Miami Dolphins beating the New England Patriots. It's good. It's good. It's real good. So I got a lot of stats, a lot of statistics, a lot of things I want to talk about yesterday's win, about the team as a whole. We're kind of again, the way this season works now, it's an odd number of games. Last year after week 8, or I think it was game 8. Sorry, after game 8, it was the midpoint of the season, and then you would kind of I would do my midseason review. They don't have a midseason anymore. They play 17 games, so it's either 9 or 8. I have to choose between 9 or 8, and I'm thinking I'm doing the midseason review this week. And first, I want to shout out somebody. I was watching my man Omar Kelly and Alan Poupart on their All Dolphins podcast. Check them out, for real. They are very good at giving you the information. Omar is very good at shooting it straight. Some don't like Omar. I like him a lot. He's very good at shooting it straight. Same thing with Alan Poupart. They are very good at giving you the information, and they give you their opinion. Yesterday, on their recap, Omar Kelly said some very kind words about me, and it meant the world to me. I could not stop smiling listening to somebody that I look up to say such nice things about me. Omar, if you're watching this, I couldn't appreciate that more, and I couldn't appreciate you more. Like I tell you constantly, I take a lot of what I do from learning from you. So I greatly appreciate that, and I'm going to try to get Omar on hopefully Thursday, if he's available. I'm going to hit him up, and we're going to do a midseason review together. Kind of talk about the team so far and all that stuff. But Omar, I got a lot of stats in this one for you. So if you're listening, appreciate you. Sit back and enjoy. And the other thing I got to talk about before we jump into the video is today's sponsor, and that is Clean the World. Sean Seipler, good friend of mine. We've grown to become really good friends. Has a great company. They take the soap that you leave in hotels, they clean it, repurpose it, they give it out to people that need it. They put these really cool kits together where you can get bar soap, some shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste. Where's the toothpaste? Down here's the toothpaste. A pair of socks. Not only do they do this, but he's informed me they have shower stations. They help people third world countries, people natural disasters, the homeless. He does some great stuff. They also have really cool soft t-shirts that all the proceeds go to helping people. So click the link in the description, cleantheworld.org. Go check them out. And Sean, again, very glad we got to become such close friends, and I love what you do. So thank you for sponsoring this video. Let's jump into some statistics, and we'll talk Miami Dolphin football. So after yesterday's game, Tua Tagovailoa, 2,416 passing yards. That is number 1 in the NFL. He has a 70.4 completion percentage. I did not catch where he ranks that, but it's definitely top 5. 18 touchdowns, which is tied for number 1. He has 7 interceptions, which is tied for second most with the interceptions. Now, little side note, a lot of you guys don't like, especially on Twitter, when I say he threw a dumb interception. I will say good 80% of them are dumb. Like yesterday, that interception was a dumb interception. Safety came down. He shouldn't have thrown. He kind of tried to force it to Tyreek Hill. It's a dumb interception. It is what it is. The week before, he tried to force it to Raheem Mostert, shorter guy. Yes, there was some DPI. Worst case scenario was a holding. Still kind of threw it to double coverage. Underthrew it a little bit. They're dumb interceptions. And if me saying dumb interceptions is a little abrasive for you, I won't say it as much, but he is tied for second in the NFL interceptions. He needs to clean them up. He's been throwing 1 interception a game for a couple of weeks now. That aspect he needs to clean up. Now, obviously, it's not costing us games yet, but he does need to clean it up a little bit. And then his 108.8 passer rating is not tied. It is number 1 in the NFL. He's the only quarterback to beat the Patriots 6th time since 2000. It's not the only Miami Dolphins quarterback. It is the only quarterback to beat the Patriots 6 times since 2000. Tua Tagovailoa is 6-0 versus Bill Belichick. 6-0 versus Bill Belichick. Beautiful. Number 1 in franchise most passing yards through 8 games. Dan Marino is second with 2,390. So he's got about 26 yards on him. Surprised I got that math out quick. Tua is also 12-1 versus Super Bowl winning coaches. The likes of Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh, John Gruden, obviously Bill Belichick, McVay, he beat the Bills. Not McVay, the Bills. McVay, the Rams. I'm sorry, my brain. He is 12-1 versus Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. There's more that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. That is a fantastic stat. Tua is doing very well this season. That's all I'm going to say. Keep it rolling. Tua. Raheem Mostert, 520 yards. That is number 6 in the NFL. 10 touchdowns. That is number 1. Rushing touchdowns is number 1. Devon Achane, 460 yards. He has not run the ball for what? A couple weeks now? And he's only ran the ball and started for what? A couple weeks? He's 10th in the NFL with 460 yards. I cannot wait for him to come back for that Raiders game. He is tied for 5th in the NFL with 5 touchdowns. So Devon Achane is a top 10 running back in the NFL, and he has played, 4 games so far? It's hilarious to me. Tyreek Hill, 1,014 receiving yards, number 1 in the NFL, 8 receiving touchdowns, number 1 in the NFL. He is the fastest in the history of the NFL to reach 1,000 receiving yards in 8 games. You know who is the second fastest now? Tyreek Hill. Because last year, 2020, he was the fastest to reach 1,000 receiving yards in 9 games with the Miami Dolphins. It seems like a certain quarterback and it seems like a certain team is a good fit for Tyreek Hill, if you ask me. Let's talk about the offensive line a little bit. Miami Dolphins have had 10 different offensive linemen taking snaps for this team through the first 8 weeks of the season. 10 different offensive linemen. We've only allowed 24 quarterback hits, and I think we've only allowed 8 or 9 sacks. I got to see the updated numbers. That is ridiculous. Tua was sacked twice yesterday, and we had our backup center in, our backup left guard, our backup right guard, and at one point our 3rd string left tackle, and he was sacked twice. I need to sit here and give a clapperoo to Butch Berry, who, when he was signed to the Miami Dolphins, Denver Bronco players were messaging Dolphin players, were laughing at the fact that Butch Berry signed with the Dolphins, poo-pooing it, crapping all over the man, talking about how bad of a job he did, when actually, if you go back and look at the way Denver was run and how Russell Wilson had the most time in the pocket, but he held the ball too long. Also, a ton of their starters were out, and he still had a decent offensive line. So Butch Berry gets credit for the fact that this offense had 10 different offensive linemen and have only allowed 24 QB hits. And like I said, 8 sacks? He was sacked twice yesterday. Also, another person who deserves credit is Tua Tagovailoa. There is a false narrative out there. I don't know where it came from, where it boiled up from, but that Tua crumbles under pressure. Tua falls. He doesn't try to, make time in the pocket. He doesn't. It is the most false thing I've ever heard. Because I've seen that man step up. I've seen him avoid pressure. I've seen him take off running. I've seen him make throws while moving in the pocket. So not only does Butch Berry get some credit for the fact that this offensive line is playing as well as it is with the amount of injuries they're dealing with, but so does Tua Tagovailoa with his elite pocket presence and his quick release. He sees it open, that ball's out. It's not like he sees it open and he waits a second. I'm not knocking Skyler. It's 2 different quarterbacks and 2 different levels in this offense. But that's what Skylar did. He kind of didn't trust himself. Tua, in his second year in this offense, trusts himself enough. I know where he's going to be. Boom. I'm going to get the ball to him. Oh, he's open. I'm going to get the ball to him. I trust my guys to catch the ball. Like that Tyreek Hill catch, which was ridiculous. Or the Jalen Waddle catch. So Butch Berry and Tua Tagovailoa deserve a ton of credit for helping this offensive line play as well as it is. Now we get to the defensive side of the ball, and Jalen Ramsey. That man said that he's going to have a great outing. And one interception, which was a beautiful interception. I can't wait to break that film down. Just baited the crap out of Mac Jones. One forced fumble, one tackle, and he allowed one catch yesterday. I'm going to show you the passing chart, and you're going to see where Jalen Ramsey lined up, and it's hilarious. When it comes to sacks, Bradley Chubb, 5 sacks, tied for 9th in the NFL. Christian Wilkins, 4.5 sacks, tied for 10th. Sealer and AVG, 4 sacks each, tied for 11th. And then you have Phillips with 2.5, and you have Emmanuel Ogbah with 2.5. Really great things out of that. Let's get into the next-gen stats from yesterday's game. Shkaplow. And then you have here, longest completed air distance. Mac Jones, he threw the furthest, was 26.5 yards. Tua Tagovailoa, 53.1. Again, that man can throw a deep ball. And this is air distance. This isn't a catch and then run. It is air distance. That man threw a 53.1 yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Some people like to say things. I'm not going to bring it up, but Tua's doing Tua things. Fastest ball carrier, Kendrick Bourne, 19.41 miles per hour. Obviously, our man, the Cheetah, 20.7. I will say, Tyreek, my man, you need to take another picture because this one is just, it's not it. Fastest sack was Kyle Duggar with 3.3 seconds. Jalen Phillips with 3.5. So this is what I was telling you about. Look at Mac Jones' passing chart. Can you explain to me, can you tell me what side of the field was Jalen Ramsey lined up on? Was it this side of the field, 3 for 3, 5 for 5, 1 for 2? Or was it this side of the field, 3 for 3, 0 yards, 1 for 2, 0 for 2? It was this side. Mac Jones just was like, I am not throwing at Jalen Ramsey. I'm going to target Eli Apple and Kader Kohu. Just wait until Xavier Howard's on this side. Just wait. And then we got Kader in the slot. And then hopefully Nick Needham. Middle of the field needs some help, but obviously that's where the middle linebackers come in. And then you look at Tua Tagovailoa. He was just spreading the ball everywhere. You look at the difference, 19 for 29, 161 yards. Tua threw it 30 for 45, 324 yards. And he was throwing it all over the place. Boop, 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 boop. 5 for 8 to the right. 1 for 1 on that deep touchdown. Then you got 5 for 7 over the middle. Clean up that interception. 3 for 5. You're throwing it behind the line of scrimmage because the offensive line was banged up. Then we're looking at rushing here. Ramondre Stevenson, more up the gut. Very happy with the defensive line containing the outside runs. Obviously, they didn't attempt them. They were more running that up the middle. You know, Raheem Mostert, he was more focused on the left side. He was either in the middle or to the outside for that touchdown. Very nice to see. Receiving, look at the separation. So these are average receiver separation. You got, again, we had a problem stopping their tight ends. Pharaoh Brown was above average when it came to his separation. He also had 2 for 2 for 33 yards. Then you have Hunter Henry, 3 for 3 for 28 yards. Got to clean up the covering of the tight ends, especially you're facing Travis Kelce next week. Can't let him take over the game, but I'll talk about that more on Friday. Then you have Demario Douglas, last name's my first name. How about that? Over the average, but Mike Gesicki under the average, and Bourne well under the average. But you look at the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle was the most distance, 3.6. You had Tyreek Hill, kind of close to that. Durham Smythe, like Chase Claypool, I'm glad he got his one catch for 15 yards. We had a ton of speed and separation. And then you have the pass rush. You look at the defensive pass rush, average separation from the quarterback. They were kind of as slower, except for Barmore. He was kind of quicker. But look at the speed of Jalen Phillips. Like, look how below the average is, right? Like, Christian Wilkins, Bradley Chubb was a little bit above. Same thing with Sealer. But Phillips, I'm excited to see him getting more. I'm excited to see the second half with Phillips, especially when we get X and Ramsey in the backfield and how he's going to be able to just feast on those lines. Very excited for that. So those are your deeper dive into yesterday's game and kind of where the Dolphins are sitting at right now. Now, there's something I want to talk about before we end this video. First off, I love you guys. I just want to say that because you guys are awesome, and I just broke 16,000 Twitter followers, and that's amazing. Love you guys, and we're getting very close to breaking, I think, 44,000 subscribers? Let me double check while I'm sitting here. 44,000. We are very close. We are 18 away from breaking 44,000 subscribers. So I just want to thank you guys for that. But the thing I actually want to talk about is a lot of people want to look at who the Dolphins have beaten, right? And say, they haven't beaten anybody. It's a cupcake schedule. Look at this. Even though before the season started, everyone saw, the Denver Broncos and the Chargers. You got the Patriots twice. You got, this team and that team. The Giants just went to the playoffs and the Dolphins get wins in the first half. I don't think so. I see the Dolphins. Some people have the Dolphins going 6 wins. They just broke 6 wins, so you can go suck a butt. But a lot of people look at the schedule now. It's very cupcake. Dolphins are only beating up on bad teams. The way I see that is the Dolphins are doing what they need to do. They are taking care of business, right? The Miami Dolphins beat up on the Patriots. They didn't beat up on the Patriots, let's be honest. But they beat the Patriots the first time 24-17, the second time 31-17. The Dolphins defense have only allowed the Patriots to score 17 points each game. But both games, the Dolphins have won by 2 scores. Let me ask you a question. Buffalo Bills, how'd you do against the New England Patriots? You lost 29-25. So I thought the Patriots were a cupcake team, and the Dolphins only beat up on cupcake teams because Buffalo, apparently you can't beat up on a cupcake team because you lost to them. Then you have the Denver Broncos, 70-20 of the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat the crap out of the Denver Broncos. But Kansas City, 24-9, you lost. And then when you did beat them on Thursday Night Football, it was 19-8. I get it's a division rival, and I'm not saying anything nor poking fun at the Kansas City Chiefs, but any given Sunday, and when have you ever seen a football team drop 70 on a team, right? Then you have the Giants. The Dolphins beat the Giants 31-16. Again, a 2-score beating. Hey, Buffalo, you beat the Giants 14-9. And that's only because the referees didn't feel like calling back-to-back pass interferences and make it look bad. So these cupcake teams tend to do really well against other teams. The Patriots, the Denver Broncos, and the Giants. They tend to make it more competitive games against other teams. Yet when they face the Dolphins, they lose by 2 scores or more. So maybe the Dolphins are just really taking care of business and need to get their stuff together against the good teams. That's the way I see it. A lot of people, again, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday. I watched the Texans beat the Jaguars. I watched the Jaguars beat the Bills. The Bills have lost 3 games. The Dolphins have not. It is what it is. Let's stop downgrading who teams beat, and let's just watch the football games. And that's what I got for you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the film breakdown. I'm excited for this one. I'm going to break down that Jalen Ramsey film. That one play is going to be 20 minutes of me breaking it down. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Really appreciate you guys. I would just, again, really quickly, we're very close to breaking 44,000 subscribers. I just broke 16,000, and Omar Kelly had some really kind words for me. So I'm just in a very good mood. So I want to thank all of you guys, especially Omar. Like I said, I want to reach out to him, try to get him on for Thursday's video where I mid-season review. But on that, like usual, stay classy. Our fins out.